Hey buds, today we hit wine country while smoking two heady strains.
We cover news stories ranging from blazing it gone wrong to wait a minute, is that a birthmark?
And an interview with Curtis's cousin and a good bud of ours, Jammo.
All this and more today on the Good Buds podcast.
Let's get blitzed.
Welcome to the Good Buds podcast, the show where good buds smoke good buds and talk about them. I'm Curtis,
I'm Shank.
and this is episode 25, airing Monday, February 22nd, 2021. A lot of 20s there.
Oh
On
wow.
Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and many more. Thanks for joining us.
Before we start, I'd like to thank Lumenspot and My High Shop for sponsoring this episode. Check the links below in the description, and we'll talk more about that later. So Curtis, how you doing today?
I am doing just fine, just fine. Been working on stuff for podcasts, obviously. I mean, we always say that, but it's always true. We always got new stuff coming, new
It's
stuff
a lot of
working.
work. Yep.
And on top of that, just working normal job as well. Got to keep that income coming
Big truth.
because it just keeps on coming and it don't stop coming, and eventually it'll stop coming if I get fired.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Hey now, how you doing, Shank?
Oh, frankly, Curtis, man, I'm doing fantastic. With Valentine's Day last week, it was a great time, big celebrating going on, lots of discount chocolate I bought after that. I had a bit of a
Oh
food
yeah,
coma for a few days. The guts still
same.
hurt, but
My dentist hates me right now.
I know, right? My dentist is probably just like at home right now, sharpening his instruments, just like staring, muttering into the distance with 1,000 yard stare.
Everyone else got love and affection. I got cavities.
No, to be fair though, he's probably going to be making bank off of the discount chocolate cavities. So,
Oh,
I'm
that and
pretty
Halloween.
yeah.
They
So
are set.
I think I think overall, he could probably count it as a net win. Doing pretty good. Personally though, before we get into anything else, I do want to remind the folks at home about something, and that is that they could go and check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if they want to see some really funny behind the scenes content and like really just cool stuff that we post on there. They can jump on our Discord if they feel like it, and they can we check in daily. They could just say random stuff in there. They can hop in there and be like, and penis butt. And we'll be like, yeah, big ups,
and
like
penis butt.
We
just like
don't
that.
mind.
We don't mind. And we would love it. So just hit those links downstairs, folks. Fire us some messages. We love hearing from you.
Exactly, exactly. And if you like what we're doing and you want to support the show, you can also check out our Patreon page and donate there. We have several tiers that you can choose from, including behind the scenes content exclusive for Patreon and the ability to listen in on the show live. Again, links are down below, and if you go there and follow us, you can join some of our fabulous patrons that we got over there, such as Isaac.
Yep,
We
he's gonna
A couple more would be okay, but we're not forcing anybody. But just know that all the money that goes into this podcast will go into the podcast.
yeah, it's true. Like every penny we get right now is going directly back into making better content for all of you guys. Curtis is 100% right. And I think it'd be a great time now. Let's hop into the review.
I agree to that.
Good buds review, good bud.
So, Curtis, what are you burning today, brother?
Well, Shank, to fit with our theme of wine country and vineyards, I have chosen a strain today, Grape Stomper.
Nice.
Exactly. Now, on top of everything else with our thing, I believe this to be a very artisanal looking strain, and I'll explain in a second. First off, it is a hybrid indica dominant, so, kind of classic to what I usually smoke. It is also known as sour grapes, and it is originally grown by Gage Green Genetics as a cross between Chem Sour and Purple Elephant. Very, very excellent strain
Chem
sounds and
sour and
very
chem sour and purple. Chem
yeah,
sour.
Chem Sour. It's literally Chem Dog and Sour Diesel combined.
So we've smoked this strain's parents.
Ha ha ha! I'm Batnug.
Nice. That's awesome,
Uh,
man.
but this Grape Stomper is a very natural looking yet firm bud. Not too big yet not too small either. But the color
Nice.
on this is hard to determine due to the heavy and thick
Yeah.
coating of crystals. It makes it look furry, like
Nice.
fuzzy, like it's kind of
Like
incredible
foggy,
actually. A little foggy.
furry,
I
fuzzy,
can't
foggy.
I can see some emerald and some light pear tones on it, but very hard to tell. It's a good amount of vibrant rust orange hairs on there as well, medium sized. And
Nice.
finally, I believe the reason they call it Grape Stomper is once you stomp it, you can finally see the purple. The
Because it's
inside
only
is the inside is a solid core of basically purple all the way down to the stem. Again, it's covered in crystals, so it's kind of hard to tell, but I mean, compared to the green, you can definitely see purple, and it basically looks like my color purple if you're looking at us on our YouTube video right now.
yeah,
Uh,
very true.
it's very awesome, amazing. In terms of the scent, got a little bit right here. Oh, okay. Sorry for that. It
That's good.
smells like the perfect pairing for our wine theme that we have going. It smells exactly like a cheese and fruit plate.
Nice, like a charcuterie,
Yeah, that's the word for it. Um,
charduberie.
Verdubery. It's got a slightly garlicky backdraft to it, but it's a strong original scent of just cheese. Like it has a strong cheesy scent to it, and it
Nice,
also
like
has
like
fruity.
UK cheese strains and stuff like that,
Exactly,
right?
like
Yeah,
that
nice.
blue cheese. That it's really Gouda. I mean, it smells really Gouda.
But
Uh,
I love that. My favorite,
and
my favorite cheese pun.
y- and it has fruity tones to it as well, like grapes and slight citrus, like orange peels and orange wedges.
Nice.
Uh, a- Overall, it's amazing on the eyes, amazing on the nose. I really hope the flavor matches. And like I said, this just looks like one of those fancy artisanal strains, kind of.
Nice.
But again, that is Grape Stomper, otherwise known as sour grapes. But Shank, why don't you tell the fine folks what it is you are smoking for us today?
Well, today I am going to be smoking some Rio Bravo. It was grown by Edison. And it's a proprietary strain that they grew, which is actually called Wabanaki, which was originally created by Organogram by crossing two strains of I don't know what and I don't care. They don't say.
Oh, I was about to say that's some interesting name for some weed.
No, yeah, they just don't say. So I just made up some random ones. Hopefully those aren't actually strain names. If they are, send me some. But no, it's but yeah, it crosses two strains. I don't know what they are, so it's great. I'm going in with a bit of a mystery. I do know that it's a sativa dominant hybrid, which is my
Nice,
usual cup of tea. Um,
exactly.
and as for the nugs, they are beautiful, soft feeling but hard looking nugs. They look like they're crunchy and crispy, but they're fairly soft. They have a really slight coating of red hair on them, a little bit of crystal. Frankly, it's not a fancy looking strain. It doesn't look like a strain that you'd look at and be like, whoa, put this in a magazine, right? But it looks good. It's got lots of shades of green in there. It looks very healthy, looks very well taken care of. So overall,
Five shades of
yeah.
green.
So overall, it's a nice strain to look at. It's not like one of those like beautiful, oh my goodness, like, gasp, that's so pretty kind of strains, but it is
Like, oh,
nice.
that's weed.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's weed. That looks like doesn't look like bunk weed. It looks good. Like it looks like good weed, which is good because when you buy it, you'd expect to be buying good weed. I haven't been disappointed by Edison yet. And so the smell though is where this really hits home because it's got some of my favorite scents like built into it. Oh man, oh buddy. Lemon hints of lemon with this pine, like a nice strong pine scent. So it's like very woodsy, like almost like a like it's just like like the feeling you get when you're surrounded by trees and you're kind of just sitting there and smoking a nice joint in the summertime,
Right.
right? Like it's I like it. It's got a nice herbal kick to it, so it's almost like you're walking through a field of like herbs, fresh herbs and stuff, pine trees all around you.
Hmm.
Um,
Kind of like that
and
pine coney, fucking naturey feely
Yeah, the
type of strain.
naturey feely kind of strain. And I enjoy that really like that
Mind
kind of
you, we're
scent.
in we're in more of northern climates, so for us a summery walk in woodsy is still kind of,
Yeah,
still kind of wintry.
it's still kind of wintry, but it like but frankly I love that scent. It's really nice. It reminds me of like really good pleasant memories being in pine trees and everything else and hanging out and stuff like that. But there's a great hint of pepper that sits on the back of the scent, like on the back end of the scent, like actual pepper, like just pepper, black pepper corn,
Yeah,
grind it up. Like on the back of it, it's really nice. I like it because it accents the lemon. Everything else makes it have, frankly, a really, really great scent. And I can't wait to try it. I'm pretty excited.
absolutely. I think we both are.
Yeah, but before we do try them out, I would love to let people know that they can check these out, these strains out, on our Instagram. We'll have pictures posted there for all of them to see. They can just click on there, check it out, give us a follow while they're there. Good Buds Podcast is where you need to go to find that on Instagram. And if you want to check Curtis out, he's got some wicked bong videos over on his private Insta.
I'm at Good Buds Curtis, and if you want to check Shank out, who rolls some nice looking blunts, you can check him over at.
Good Buds Shank, and we post all kinds of funny stuff and behind the scenes stuff regularly on our Instagram. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you already see these beautiful pictures of these beautiful nugs. But if not, go over to our YouTube channel, check that out, watch the video, you will be hooked. Click that subscribe button and click that bell icon so you know whenever we post things, because it's not just weekly
It's
there, it's random.
not to be a little biased, but it is the best way to watch the podcast.
I love it.
Considering
It's
other
my
than
favorite
that,
way.
you only have to listen to it.
Absolutely. It's my favorite way to watch the podcast. Exactly, right? That's the best way to watch the podcast because it's the only way to watch the podcast until you fans out there start making your own fan edits. But no, frankly, like check it out. I think it would be fantastic. But I think we should give him a puff. What do you think?
I 100 completely agree to that. I got a bong packed right here as always.
As do I.
And you all know what time it is, buds. We got our lighters. We light them in the air. We blaze it. Lighters out. Let's toke skaboke.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Oh my God, Curtis, buddy, how's that tasting for you, man? Ooh.
Okay. So
Wow.
very interesting. It's weirdly sweet at first. It's got a very fruity front to it. Not exactly citrus, but it's just like a combination of fruit, like kind of grapey, kind of citrusy, little bit of I don't know how to explain it really, but that's after that it becomes a rush of a very strong diesel flavor from all the crystals because like I said, the thing is copiously coated in it. So that crystal kind of pushes a very strong diesel flavor quickly down the throat, and it finishes with that strong cheesy aftertaste pretty much.
Nice.
Kind of like how your mouth feels a minute after eating like cheese sticks or a grilled cheese sandwich or something like that.
Yeah, like a roll
And
Baby Bell.
exactly. Like personally, I'm not a huge fan of just like straight up cheese. I like it on stuff, but not by itself. But honestly, I'm liking this flavor. It's really good. It's an amazing array of flavors, smells, colors. Like I said, this is a very, very fancy looking strain, but it's really all not that fancy. But
Nice.
Shank, how's that Rio Bravo hitting ya?
Well, that Rio Bravo, man, it was a very strong lemon forward hit. Had a huge punch to it. But overall, it wasn't like deadly. It didn't really make me feel like I was gonna die. I definitely had a bit of a cough after there, but that's just because I took a huge old hit. Frankly, it has a thick layer of herbal and like almost a spicy flavor that hangs out on top of the lemon, like leaving this really nice aftertaste that you get on the back. Like again, the pepper sticks around afterwards. So like
Hmm.
after the lemon's gone and the linger's gone, you still have like an almost black pepper taste in your mouth. Which personally I like. I'm one of those dudes that really loves like I will eat a peppered steak for days. You know, like and just have like you can coat the outside of it with a shell of
Right.
black peppercorn, and I'll eat that steak and be like, oh yeah, buddy. So this
See,
for me is a nice strain.
that sounds delicious, but now all I'm thinking is an Earth, Wind, and Fire song. After the lemon's gone.
After the lemon's gone. Oh my god. Yeah.
Anyway,
After
but
the lemon's gone. But yeah, no,
these are
but
sounding like some
yeah.
excellent stuff.
I know, man. I like, frankly, I'm looking forward to smoking more. But as usual, before we do, Curtis, what does it say on the review sites about your strain?
That is right. That is right. As always, these are the online opinions of stoners who are online, and we are other stoners online giving our opinions to the online.
Opinion.
Absolutely, Mr. Echo voice. So the Grape Stomper is described as a tingly body sensation. It's got a euphoric, relaxing, and uplifting high as well. Kind of similar effects to normal.
Really quick
Uh,
note here. Name of your sex tape. Boom.
what's that? Euphoric, relaxing, and uplifting are pretty typical.
I was gonna go with the tingling body sensation.
Either or.
Yes.
Let's just go yes, all the above. But it
Yes.
also has it's also good for stress and insomnia. It's got a slight dry mouth side effect, but as you guys know, we are seasoned stoners here. We got our bevies nearby. We got snacks. We're always prepared.
Always prepared.
Exactly. But Shank, how is that Rio Bravo sounding online?
The Rio Bravo.
Just
Honestly,
love
it's
saying
good.
that.
I know it's so fun, isn't it? Rio Bravo. It makes me feel like I want to sit down and have like a nice big glass of wine by a pool somewhere, and
Exactly.
chill, some sparkling wine. But frankly, it has the reviews online say that it's got a strong euphoric high with now this is the weird thing, a body tingle.
Here's tingles too.
We're both tingling today.
Yeah, we're
Yay!
both. You know what?
Maybe we
Okay.
should. Yeah, they'll take that out of
Don't take it
context.
out of that kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your Peter tingle, Curtis.
Can you please not call it that?
Oh man, no, for all you MCU fans out there. But frankly, it's got a body tingle. But it's they say it's great for socializing, great for partying over Zoom,
Of
because you
course,
should all be
social distance.
socially responsible. Responsible people. I want to go somewhere. I want Curtis to be able to come to Canada. Fucking stop going out. But anyway, it's really, really good. Strong euphoric high, uplifting, high energy. So I'm really looking forward to burning more of this stuff, man. The reviews online sound golden, and I can't wait to, burn more.
I think just had to drop the beat on that one.
Drop the beat and my phone.
Exactly. But you guys know that it's time for some group participation.
Oh, the interactive portion. I love this one.
Exactly. I got a joint rolled right here, Shank.
I have a joint rolled right here, Curtis.
And if you guys have one rolled, you can, join us right now. If not, pause the video and roll yourself a joint. We'll wait for you.
Do you think they actually paused the video, Curtis?
I don't really care. So now that you've back, we have our joints rolled. Let's pull out our lighters, and you know what time it is, buds. It's 4:20 somewhere.
Yes,
Blaze it.
indeed. Oh man, that's I just love joints. I just love the feeling of lighting a joint.
See, it's one of the only things I do miss about fucking cigarettes is that feeling of just like, oh, man, I'm just rolling a fucking, circular thing, putting it in my mouth and lighting it.
I know,
That's why I
right?
like joints. It still gives me that satisfaction, but I don't smoke cigarettes anymore.
Yeah, and sometimes you see yourself holding like holding it like a smoke, like
Oh,
you
I
just
always
sometimes you're
hold
like,
it
yeah,
like
you just like because I always was one of those people that differentiated between like I'd hold like a joint would always be the pinch finger,
right.
like and like
It was,
and
yeah, it was the
it was
same for
mostly
me
to
at
avoid getting the
first.
smell on my hands, because if you pinch it like that, you're less likely to get smoke on your fingers, so you're not going to smell as bad.
For
Like,
me, it was just like the easiest way to pass it to somebody. You pinch, you put your fingertips
yeah,
together, and then you're both pinched around it, and then you both have equal pressure on it, and then it's just
exactly
passed.
right. Upside of Rona though, like I mean, we gotta like look at the positives, right? A lot of people like I now by this statement, I by no stretch am saying that there are like not negatives. There are so many negatives to Corona that it's like
We all
impossible
know,
to
but
count them.
anyway,
We all know. But you got to look at the silver lining. And one of the silver linings is if I do at any point limited social interaction, like at this point, and I got a
right.
joint and someone's like, "Yo man, can I get a hit?" I'd be like, "No, bro, Rona."
Exactly.
I
You get
can,
joints all to
and now
yourself.
don't get me wrong. I'm generous, so I'll be like, here, bro, like like take some weed, roll your own or whatever. But now I never need to worry about the joint coming back to me wet. I never have
You
to worry about it disappearing in the rotation somewhere. Like hand
you
it
don't
to
have to worry
somebody,
about
they
looking
hand
at
it to
that asshole
somebody.
who's just sitting there chiefing on it, the guy who
Yeah,
passes out with it, the guy who
yeah,
fucking burns your couch with it.
yeah. I can be that asshole now.
Exactly. At least with your joint. If
Exactly.
somebody
with
else
my
has a
own
joint, you can still yell at them, but if they're
Exactly.
chiefing on it,
Yep.
that's their shit. Let them go.
Yeah, you're right. So, and that's the coolest thing is like, like now when people do get together, it's a pretty much Curtis and I we're forced to because we're literally in separate countries. We're speaking to each
Right.
other until they invent that Willy Wonka TV shit where I can straight up just hand the weed to them. It's not gonna happen, right? But
Right.
like, like it's one of those things where what we're doing right now is what everybody has to do anyway. Even if we were sitting in the same room, we'd still be like, "Yeah, man, that weed treating you good," and he'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, that weed treating you good." I'd be like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
know.
And
So
hopefully we
welcome
can
to our
eventually
world,
get
everyone.
right. Hopefully you can eventually get to the point where we can at least be smoking the same strain,
That
but
would be nice.
for right
And in the
now,
in
I
the
think
same room would be nice too, but we'll get
exactly.
there.
But for right
Doors are
now,
open.
I like the fact that we're just, doing how we do. Fucking I
Yeah.
mean, this is how we've been working for fucking what, 4 years now?
Yeah,
Fucking
I know,
the
right?
entire
Like just
time we've
kind of
known
yeah,
each
just
other.
the entire time just hanging out and shit and like, playing games and stuff like that and just like when we're not playing games even if we're just like sitting up late nights you like crunching your head against your keyboard trying to edit something while I annoy the shit out of you by doing random things in the background, like, just that kind
It's
of stuff.
so hard to get the audio cues when Shank won't shut the fuck up
True, and I
about
never shut the
logic and
fuck up.
shit.
Yeah, I never shut the fuck up.
No, I
Like,
love it. I
no, I
love
never
it.
shut the fuck up. But no, no, that's
If I
why we
didn't
do the
love it, I would
podcast.
just leave the Discord call.
I know I was gonna say that's why we do the podcast because we can both deal with each other's like random directions that we go and it's great, right? And I'm glad that our fans in the audience, that the people at home, like have been this supportive so far. Like we've got so many freaking likes on Facebook right now. I never thought a page that I was like like the co-head of or the, like like would
Right.
ever have
Over
that many
100.
like over 100 over 200 people like and still
Exactly.
coming. And like that's so cool. Like if you are on our Facebook page and if like that's fantastic. We
If you're
appreciate
listening
that.
to this and you have come here at some point, we appreciate you. We love
Big
you
ups,
for
like
it.
yeah.
You are
Yeah.
one of our buds.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like, and I just, it's just crazy, man, the amount of support we've got. Like, I know we're trying to grow our YouTube right now, though. Our YouTube, man, we gotta focus. That's like something we
Right.
really, our audience, like, they're missing out. Like, a lot of our audience is missing out because, right, we got like, a good amount of people listen to the podcast, which is fantastic. Listening to the podcast, it's obviously
Exactly.
what
And
podcasts are
we know
for.
that some people, listen to this because they're, on a road or something like that, they're
Yeah.
traveling some shit. But,
But
we
when
still
you
get
want,
that
yeah,
and we
if you
still
check
like
out,
it if people
yeah, and if you check out the YouTube videos, guys, like seriously, Curtis sits down, and when I say he bangs his head against the keyboard, like editing these things, like they're getting better and better every episode, and like frankly, it's just they're great. Like we're starting to throw bits in and everything like that. We'll take user suggestions if you guys message us and say, hey, maybe blah blah blah. If it's not out of the realm of possibility, it might happen. So hit us in the comments. Be like, hey guys, Curtis's face is really nice, and Curtis will be like, oh shucks, it'll be great, like say I
Curtis
like
starts
Shanks.
blushing.
For once, I would love if someone would, compliment my beautifully animated beard. Like, look at this beard. Look at it. It's glorious. You can't see it if you're listening, but you can if you're watching the YouTube video. Uh, it's true.
So, yeah, we much appreciate all the people we got, but
Yeah, totally,
the,
man, totally.
yeah. So Shank, what paper are you burning out of today?
Today, I am back to the old beautiful classic OCB experts, man. I love these papers. I love the classiness of the packaging. I love the consistency of the
Well,
quality. I've never, ever, ever had a single paper come out of an OCB pack with no sticky. Like other
right.
paper packs, like I won't mention names at all, like but other major leading paper
I've seen some of that,
producers,
yeah.
I've taken a paper out of a pack every now and then, and the sticky gummy was so thin that it either was non-existent or it just wasn't there at all. Like there was some kind
And
of
it didn't
printing error,
work, or yeah.
and it didn't work or something. But I have never once in my history of smoking OCBs had that quality control issue. So it's amazing, man. Like I personally,
Very
I
nice.
swear by them. OCB, if you're listening to this podcast, sponsor me, yo. Your boy would love it. But yeah, Curtis, what are you smoking out of today, man?
Uh, well, since I knew everything about this strain was going to be weird and all that stuff, I decided to go with a weird paper. And I went with root beer from Juicy J's.
Root, yeah, I can see
I don't know
that.
why, but it's alright. I mean,
I
it's
can see
alright.
that. I can see
I did
that.
have some of the absinthe papers that I definitely should have used, but
Absinthe would have been
I
a
like
good call. Absinthe is always a good call, though. That's my problem. Is every time I have absinthe, I think absinthe goes. I'm like, this weed is blah 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 blah. You know what will go really good with that? Absinthe. This weed is blah 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 blah. You know what will go really well with that? Absinthe.
absinthe.
I'm like this weed is bunk. You know what would be good with this one? Absinthe. Like it's just I can't help myself, man. They're the shit. They're the like my favorite papers for sure. But root beer is a good call. That was a solid choice.
Uh,
Man, like it's like so how's it taste? Like does the flavor complement it or
I mean, it does, but it's like I don't know. It just kind of makes it smooth. I mean, in general, like through the joint, it's making it significantly smoother anyway.
yeah.
Uh, it's still got like a lot of the fruity scents coming through. It's got that little sassafras flavor from the paper, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
That's right.
interesting, but it's not making it bad, not making it
Razzle
worse.
dazzle.
It's just making it kind of smooth. Razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
Give her the old razzle dazzle.
Give her the old razzle dazzle. The old root beer razzle dazzle. That's the best way to go, man. The best way to go, root beer razzle dazzle. But yeah, man, I legitimately still miss being able to get flavored papers, bro. Like it's one of those things where like I agree with a lot of the decisions that the government makes. Like, I can't agree with all of them. Anybody who thinks that you're going to agree with every policy is ignoring a lot of the policies like the person they're supporting has. If you're like, I agree with every political opinion they have, you're ignoring a lot of their political opinions about different things because guaranteed there's going to be something that you go, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah,
Like, I don't agree with everything that our government has done. I agree with a lot of it. Like, frankly, we live in a beautiful country.
yeah.
We live in a stable country. We live in a good, coronavirus is insane and our government's handled it fairly well compared to,
Okay,
like,
quick loading
some,
on that one.
yeah, fairly well. But anyway, but the big thing is that getting rid of flavored papers in our province was the stupidest thing our provincial government has ever done, especially just before weed legalization. And I know I talked about this in season 1, but I'm still salty, Nova Scotia government, for
This
the
is a
fact that
this is a reoccurring.
just before legalization, they were like, nah, we're gonna get rid of flavored papers, even though that's gonna be massive income for like any business that sells them. Like now all that business is going online to
Oopsie.
stores in other provinces because we can order them online. You can order them online all you want, but they can't sell them in retail stores. So we can order them from a store in another province. So we're taking our
Right, you
nice Nova
should.
Scotia dollars and spending them in another province so that they ship it to us. You know? It's like your state being like, no, you're not allowed to buy something here, but you can buy it in the state next door, and it's not
It
legal
was
to
like
own it. And you're like, okay,
fireworks.
yeah, fireworks, yeah. If it's
That
legal to
was how
own
it
them,
was.
but it's not
Fucking,
legal
we
to
went
buy
to.
them, you just
Yeah.
go to buy them in another state and then give your money to that other state.
I mean, it was quote unquote illegal to fire them off. However, if you fired them off and then you stopped and the cops didn't know exactly what house fired it off, then they drive by and then you fire off another one. And
Yeah,
then eventually they're just like, I'm not going to keep making these trips. And then you can
yeah,
just do the grand finale.
yeah. The old typical strategy. Yeah, that's
And then
pretty
they just,
universal.
but then they just made it legal. So,
Yeah,
now we got mortars.
yeah. Exactly right, and that's what I mean, right? And your state is making all of the money from the sale of them, right? Like the tax money
Exactly.
that from the sale of those, the sales tax is going to your state. So it's like my
Before that,
province.
if you,
My province is like, we don't want that sales tax. We want it to go to another province. I'm
right.
like,
Before that, if you owned a barn, like just on the border of Michigan inside of Ohio, then
yeah,
you made bank every year around 4th of July because everybody from Michigan would go in, buy a fuck ton of illegal fireworks, and then drive back into Michigan.
yep,
And they would
yep.
go to the first stand that was available. And usually there was like
They'd
two,
set
I
up a
remember
stand
two or
there. Yeah.
three or ones on like I-94 or I-75 that literally had fucking, it was just a fucking shitty old barn. And on the side of it was a huge tarp that said Black Panther fireworks, and it was just filled to the brim with
Black
fireworks.
Panther fireworks. That sounds
Seriously,
like a
if you
wicked
smoked a
brand.
cigarette anywhere within like 50 feet of this place, the whole place would have exploded.
That reminds me. When I used to work for a company a long time ago, now this is I don't the legality of this story is not known, so the business's name will not be mentioned. Um, and the people involved will have fake names. So me and my coworker, for this delivery company I used to work for, one day we did not. Now keep in mind, our delivery was very specific. We only did furniture.
Okay.
That's it. Right? Only furniture. That's all we were classed for. It's all our truck was classed
Okay.
for. So we drove furniture around, and one day our boss was like, "Hey, listen, my family owns a firework factory. We need you to go pick up a bunch of fireworks in the truck, like like a few
Yeah.
or no, well, what they said is a couple boxes of fireworks when you're up in a certain town, and bring them back here because we're gonna sell them. Like from this location that we have."
Right.
And so I was like, "All right, cool.
Not
Like
thinking of it,
couple.
but
I was
in
like couple
reality,
boxes. Well, it was like couple boxes, right? Like we're gonna like what take 3 or 4 boxes worth of fireworks for them to set up a display
right.
somewhere and sell off. The 3 or 4 boxes of fireworks, whatever, right? I've moved that much in a car, whatever,
No
right?
problem.
So we get there, and the people are like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, you ready to pick it up and everything?" We're like, "Yeah." So we get in, go into the place, and like there's literally an entire shipping container full of fireworks. They're like, "Yeah, you're taking about half of these." So we literally loaded the entire truck up from front to back, like full of fireworks, and drove it from one town, like almost not an hour, but almost like 45 minutes back to where we work. The whole time I was like, man, I hope we don't hit a fucking bump. Like I was like, oh
No
man, like
friction,
I was
no
like, we don't
this,
have
no
like
that.
this truck is not rated for this, like it's like, and obviously the businesses involved will not be named, the people involved will not be named. And
Right,
obviously it
but
was fine at the
I think you
time.
need some kind of certain classification for carrying
I'm
that
pretty sure
much
you do. Like I'm not certain.
explosives.
I'm not certain about. Like I said, I never looked up the law about it. That's why I'm telling the story now. I don't know whether it's legal or illegal.
Let
But
us know in the comments below.
let me know in the comments below. But
Or go
basically, I
check us
felt
out on Reddit. You can let us know there
yeah.
and send this story to r/legal advice.
But long story, like one sentence longer. I was very uncomfortable the entire time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's about it, man. But frankly, I think it would probably be a really good, good time to roll on to something, maybe another segment. What do you think?
I think so, but before we do that, let's run a quick ad, shall we?
Do you like fashionable and unique clothing? Do you like things that shine super bright when exposed to light? Do you like discounts? Do you like advertisements that ask, "Do you like," over and over, knowing there is no direct way for you to answer back? If you answered yes to all of these questions, or even just the first three, check out lumenspot.com for some lit clothing and accessories, and use the code GoodBudsPodcast at the checkout for 50% off and free shipping. Thank you, Lumenspot, for sponsoring us, and thank all of you for listening. Check it out today with the link below in the description.
Very nice, very nice. So, Shank, a lot of things happening in the world today.
Some
What'd you
wild
say?
stuff. Wild stuff happening in the world today, man. I think it'd be a good time to do one of your favorite segments to announce.
I 100% agree to that. It is time to get into We News Worldwide.
I'm leaving that in.
No. So, our first news story today is kind of an update on two different news stories that we had last week, actually.
Oh, nice.
So, it's very interesting. So, it's a combination of the story you covered about magic mushrooms.
Yeah, the shroom story, that was pretty cool, using the music and the shrooms, yeah.
Exactly. And my story about Jamaica. So
Oh, man. They're
the
out of
world's
weed.
exactly, but the world's first research and cultivation facility for psilocybin producing mushrooms opens in Jamaica.
Nice. So they're trading in, they're running out of weed, but they're getting shrooms.
Exactly. So it, kind of a compromise, but
Yeah.
apparently, it's a trade-off. This
Fairish
story
trade,
comes
yeah.
exactly. This story comes to us from thegrowthop.com, and you can check for links in the description below. The world's first legal research and cultivation facility dedicated to producing mushrooms and other plant-based psychedelics has opened in Mona, Jamaica.
Nice.
Sorry, not sorry. The facility Field Trip Natural Products Limited Research and Development Laboratory for Psychedelic Fungi. That that's a fucking name. Is
Psychedelic fungi.
well,
Taylor
it's
me sex tape.
no, the whole thing is Field Trip Natural Products Limited Research and Development Laboratory for Psychedelic Fungi.
Jiminy Christmas, that's a mouthful. They didn't even give it a cool acronym or anything. Let's just call it
Hold on.
the Shroom Science Zone. The Shroom
Let's just
Science Place.
Shroom Labs.
Shroom Labs. Yes, call it Shroom
Okay.
Labs.
It's in partnership with Toronto-based Field Trip Health Ltd. And the University of West Indies, UWI, which that one actually has an acronym.
There you go. See? That's how you do it. Shroom.
So the plans for this facility were first announced in September of 2019, and it held a grand opening earlier this week.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
exactly, obviously they will be producing, fungi and how or
And jobs.
psilocybin producing fungi and how they can be utilized in a treatment setting. Obviously, it's really great with the jobs. Obviously, especially with Jamaica's current situations. Obviously, we talked about it last week, getting hit by a tropical storm last year, coronavirus, their current drought,
Yeah.
their current fucking shortage on marijuana, which is
Yeah.
obviously the worst.
They're
Um,
the worst of all of it. Like, I mean, you can take your hurricanes, you can take your droughts, but you don't take the weed, man.
please just don't take our
Don't take
weed.
the weed, man. But no, seriously though, like we do hope that that turns around for Jamaica, and this is obviously going to be really good for them. That's great, man. That's cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's just me saying things because I'm actually still pretty high right now. But
Fantastic.
yep. So
No,
yeah,
that's yeah.
psilocybin is a substance found in over 200 species of psilocybin mushrooms, and this lab will pretty much be dedicated to taking care of, a good majority of study, research, and stuff for all of that, and hopefully research it will travel amongst the world, and hopefully the treatments of this substance will be better understood for later development.
No, actually, that's a really good lead-in because my article is actually about treatments and somebody who is world famous.
Really?
Yeah, so it's about time that the weed world starts bonging it like Beckham because David Beckham has invested in a CBD company.
Ooh, has he now?
He's one of the latest celebrities to get into the celebrity slash athletes because he is still an athlete. I mean, he might be, but he got into the weed game. He's in the CBD game now. Cellular Goods, which is a company poised to join the London Stock Exchange, is going to use biosynthetic cannabinoids for skincare and athletic recovery products. So basically, they're going to be using CBD um, to make ointments, topical creams, that kind of thing. Um, the company value already has a pretty high estimated value of about $20 million, or 20 million pounds, which is $35 million. I apologize.
Well, yeah, you get a
Um,
name like David Beckham behind it, and
yeah, yeah.
people pretty happy.
And they have a good framework as well. They've got the development phase, and they're ready to launch a range of premium quality consumer products that are based on biosynthetic cannabinoids. And biosynthetic cannabinoids are cannabinoids that are lab grown, like they're like synthetic, but they're still
Right.
CBD. Like it's still just CBD. It's not, um, but it is grown biologically. It's not grown like artificially.
Of course.
Um, but yeah, they've got topical athletic recovery products and skincare products are their initial focus, but they're going to be offering other things as they create partnerships in the future to work with other companies. They'll be offering other goods. Um, they're expected, as it says here, by making CBD in the lab because they make it lab grown CBD. They can avoid any kerfuffle over THC because THC is still illegal in the UK right now, unfortunately. Come on, UK, you can do this. We believe in you. Um,
Absolutely. We always
like,
believe in you.
we believe in you. You can legalize it. There's no reason not to. It's all cash money in your pocket and illegal money off the streets. That's what you want. Just do it. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I
Especially
digress. Sorry, go
especially
ahead.
for medical stuff. Medical and for people want to
The
just feel good.
Diagonal sideways, man. Diagonal sideways. It'll take a lot of strain off your medical network too, because if somebody's having an anxiety attack and they smoke a joint instead of going to the hospital, you've just saved yourself so much money. It's not even funny. but they're making, essentially just CBD, pure CBD lab grown.
Right.
And they've got David Beckham behind them. He invested a lot of money in the company. He's going to be he invested through his company, which is called DB Ventures, and has a minority stake. So he doesn't own a majority of the company or anything like
Right.
that.
But still
Um,
nice to see another celebrity and especially a sports athlete getting into or trying to endorse marijuana and CBD. So
Absolutely.
hopefully that can, change course for future events, hopefully allowing that stuff for, more athletes.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's like actors, athletes, all kinds of people with like power. We know that in our society, as silly as it might seem, and it's not even a modern phenomena, this happened back in ancient Roman times as well. But if a famous person tells you something, it has more sway over the general populace than just if a bunch of the general populace start saying something. Like if 1,000 people started shouting to legalize weed, that would make less of a difference to everybody in the world than one celebrity going, "Hey, you should smoke weed." You
Yeah.
know? And it sucks. I don't agree with it at all as a person, like morally or like consciously. I try to avoid ignoring voices. I listen to
Ex-
voices,
You got
because
to
voices
hear,
are important.
and
Like
you
the
also
all
have
voices,
to,
not just the one celebrity, but 1,000 voices are just as
and you do
important.
have to, and the other important part is being able to understand other people's perspectives and point of views to be able to learn from that and understand exactly where you stand on that. You can't know
Absolutely.
your points without understanding somebody
Absolutely.
else's points.
Yep, yep. But as we know now, the majority of society, the way that it works is if a celebrity says, "Hey, jump," a lot of people are gonna ask how high right away, right? And so it's really cool seeing celebrities getting into like CBD products even for recovery because it's been known for years and years and years and years and years how good THC is for recovery, like basically like you could get inflamed joints and everything else. You could get muscle inflammation, and that would hurt
Right.
a lot.
It
And the
would be a
CBD, yeah,
strong burning sensation.
yeah, very strong. Like it, and it's like, but CBD helps with that, man. Athletes
Exactly.
been using it for years for that, like like when you're
For sure.
post workout burn, or post game
Exactly.
burn.
Exactly. But speaking of burn, that kind of leads me into our next news story.
Oh, what would that be?
Well, this news story, again, coming from the Growth Op. We got a lot of stories coming from there today.
True, they're on fire this week.
Exactly. But you know what else is on fire? A small town near the coastal city of uh, Be- Be- there's an X in there. It's Spanish. Computer.
Bay all break.
Thank you. See, I never would have said that. Let's just say Bex.
Yeah, we'll call it BX
BX.
BX dogs. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. If you're
Let's just
from
go.
there, like, it's just
No, we
let us.
speak Americano. Um,
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
but
We love
anyway,
you.
so this is a small town near in Spain,
Nice.
and efforts by Spanish firefighters have led or called to a blaze sparks the discovery of two unrelated illegal grow ops.
Uh,
Emergency
okay.
workers discovered more than smoke and fire at these places. Essentially, both weed plantations were hidden inside separate homes 100 meters away. There was two of them that were found at the same time, and the best part, they had nothing to do with the fire.
Okay, so you're telling me like police and firefighters go and they show up, you know, and they like bust these places, someone's like,
Right.
okay, it's a weed bust. Why are the firefighters here?
Unrelated popcorn fire, Your Honor. So
Uh,
I guess whatever the fire, I believe it was something. Yeah, neighbors alerted emergency services to the blaze, which the police say was the result of overloading the electrical network. Residents in the area had filed several complaints to the utility about repeated supply drops. So they had to go under investigation to figure out why the supply was dropping for this whole thing, which led them to two separate houses that both had two completely separate grow operations happening in them.
So okay, so now I'm starting to piece this together using my investigatory mind from watching years of unsolved mysteries. So these two weed places obviously had a bunch of high wattage things in them.
Oh, here's
So they
one of the
probably were causing the
y-
drain that people were
ex-
complaining about.
exactly. That's exactly what they found out, and they're like, okay, they tracked it right to their houses. One of the plantations was installed in an occupied house, and the other was exploited by its owner, who, in view of the success of the business, decided to hire a company to expand the illegal hookup of electricity.
Oh my god, so
So
he
one
hired
guy
a oh
actually
my,
paid a company to make his electrical output more to his house so he could grow more weed. And
that's
based on
magna
these
hey,
pictures,
modern
these are
modern
fucking,
problems, modern solutions.
mind you, these are huge fucking grows. Like there is a basement like where you can barely see the walls. There's
Oh,
barely a path
Lord.
all the way through.
Actually,
It's
I'm just yeah, I just opened the link there that you had sent to me, and my goodness, man, those wow, like folks, if you're watching the YouTube video, you can see this. There's like
that
plants wall to wall, and if not, there's a link below. You can check it out on the Growth Hub. But wow, Curtis.
exactly. The complaints raised the suspicions of police. Both illegal hookups were to the general connections, which suggested narcotics were being cultivated inside. Again, both of these two had no idea that they were just completely illegally growing marijuana
Yeah, just
a
two
couple
separate
doors down from
people.
each other.
Yeah, just right next to each other.
In
Didn't even know.
total, in all, from I believe both of them, 2,270 weed plants weighing 200 kilograms were found after the fire had been doused and police were called to the scene. They also
Wow.
discovered equipment for used for growing and treating cannabis crops.
Is there a lawn tractor? Did they mention a lawn tractor?
No,
God
they
damn, we
have
still
not.
have to track down homie lawn tractor. We don't know where they put him.
Exactly. But it's funny because late last year they had a series of coordinated raids in
Yeah.
63 homes in Spain and the Netherlands and Belgium, revealed about 34,000 illegal cannabis plants and an electric bill for the stolen power amounting to 1.5 million euros, about
Woohoo!
2.3 American,
Holy crap,
2.3 mil.
man.
So yeah,
Wow.
exactly. So it's fucking crazy that all of this shit. But not only that, this isn't even the first time that firefighters specifically have found marijuana cultivation by accident.
Well, no, I know. We actually covered, I think, in one of our old news stories in one of our old episodes. We talked about that Irish story where the pub burned down and they found the pot farm.
Exactly.
I
And
remember that. That was
the
wild.
and firefight not even that. Firefighters have identified illegal grows on a number of occasions, including in Scotland, Wales, the United States, and in Canada,
Oh
where
yeah.
an illegal fire or a fire or something has led to the discovery of an illegal grow up. Whether or not it was related, who knows? But
Yeah, who
still,
knows?
hilarious all the way through, and great little story for here. And
That is funny.
yeah,
And
it,
but obviously,
it must
like
go on.
they probably would not have gotten caught though if they had followed the strategy of the company that I want to talk about in my next news story.
What's that?
Well, you see, they were drawing too much power from the grid, and it caused like overloads and everything, and blah 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 blah. Fire,
Right.
attention, right? This company, it's from Nova Scotia, actually, my backyard. That's right.
Ew.
There's a company in Nova Scotia called Aqualitas. I hope that's how it's pronounced, Aqualitas or Aqualitas. I'm not sure. This is from 420 Intel, but they are thriving on, now hear me out, fish fueled cannabis.
Ooh.
And
How's that?
I don't mean they're grinding up fish for the people at home. They are not grinding up fish.
Like that fishy weed you had on the last
Yeah.
episode?
They're not grinding up fish and feeding it to the weed. That's not the case. That's not what they're doing. Just instant knee jerk. That was my first knee jerk reaction. I was like, "Are these people like grinding up fish and using them as mulch or something?" Like, cause that's
No, no.
But and then I looked at it, but no, these guys are awesome. These people, these guys and gals, because like these buds are awesome, because it's actually a woman-led company based in Nova Scotia, and they are one of the few Canadian producers that grow cannabis using aquaponics in a closed loop system.
Hmm.
So basically, they use water and energy demands that are dramatically reduced. Like their energy demands are like way lower because they use a closed system. It's like a
Right.
self-sustained system, right? So they use now koi fish are the type of fish they use. So there are koi fish swimming around these weed plants, and they provide nutrients to feed the plants while they help keep while the plants help clean the water. So
Right.
basically, the plants help clean the water. The fish help add nutrients to the water. The fish also keep the water clean by eating bugs, parasites, pests, anything else. And they basically they've just kept chugging on, man. Most companies struggled with disruption during COVID-19. They did not at all. They did not have to lay off anybody. They've actually hired 12 people since January last year.
I was about to say, how do you lay off a fish? But okay.
Yeah,
Um,
you're fired. Sorry, I mean fried. I mean you're fried in batter.
can it be both?
With chips. Yeah, it can be both. But they're located in Brooklyn, Nova Scotia, in the region of the Queens municipality, which is not the municipality that I live in, but it is close by.
Brooklyn in Queens.
Brooklyn in Queens. But yeah, it's another place inside of a place. It's like we talked about in another episode like ages ago. Man, we're throwing back to a lot of old episodes. But they've grown from 50 employees in 2018 to 90 employees now in 2020. They're doing fantastic, man, and it's really cool because um, there used to be a mill there that got closed down, right? And the mill was
Right.
big business. Like the mill was huge, it was popular, it was big business and everything else. And most of the employees there are former employees of the mill. So they're people who had jobs at the mill that got closed down and everything else, and now they've got work doing something fucking awesome. Like this is revolutionary, man. Like they're
Absolutely.
using koi fish. They have actually one picture here that I'm going to have appear somewhere on the screen here. Curtis will snag it and
Yeah.
post it. But this is Polly. And if you haven't, yeah, if
What?
you're not
Oh my
watching the
god.
YouTube video, you're missing out because Polly is adorable. If you aren't, click on the description below. There will be a link to this article. But Polly is here, and Polly was one of Aqualita's koi fish. It's a strong swimmer, smart, fast, and nimble, is how it's described, which is awesome. I'm glad these people love their fish. Like that's really
That's
cool.
good.
But they've got a 25-year life cycle, so these koi fish will live for 25 years.
Oh, that's coy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And they'll be well taken care of. Like they have basically um what the CEO her name is Myrna Gillis. What the CEO Myrna Gillis has to say is that if you have the patience to let it build up, you can really get the benefits of it. She says. The plants are really healthy, and that's the main thing. When you can have a plant that's healthy, then you're going to have good potency and good terpene profiles and good quality on the finished product. So they clearly care
Nice.
very much about the grow, they care about the weed strains and everything else.
They care about the
Um,
cannabis. They care
yeah,
about the fish. They care about the employees. Very nice.
oh yeah, they're taking damn good care of their employees too. Actually, they're saying that they're essentially paying, paying above, above industry norm. Before moving into cannabis, Gillis used to they spent she spent 25 years working as a disabilities lawyer. And so she heard about medicinal marijuana from her clients, obviously. Working as a disabilities lawyer, you hear about the benefits of medicinal marijuana because it's a
Right.
big thing in Canada. And
Right.
so she obviously took that to heart and like decided that she was going to grow some weed in a safe, organic, healthy, closed system kind of weird way. Like she got fish swimming around her plants, man. It's like a rice paddy,
I mean, if it
like
works, it works. You really.
yeah.
I mean,
But it's like a rice paddy, how they'd have the flooded rice paddies and the koi fish would
yeah.
swim around in it to keep the bugs off the plants and everything and stop the like fungus from growing and that kind of thing. And then, like it's like that but with weed. That's incredible.
Oh,
It blows my
natural.
mind. Blows
I
my
like it.
mind, man. And I
Love
personally,
that.
if I can get my hands on some of that, I would really love to try it out for the podcast. I'll see what I can do for that for a future episode because frankly, I think trying that would be really cool. Like it would be, it'd make me like if they have a super, like kind of like like if they have a super kind of effective strain or something like that that gets me super duper high, then I want to try it.
Oh yeah, that'd be very nice. Hopefully, it doesn't taste fishy, but I'm
Yeah,
sure they. I'm sure they have some good weed, and
yeah,
if
for sure.
I really hope I can get a hold of some of that too, if they don't stay super local.
Yeah, of course. No, if they start shipping internationally, like Curtis has got to try some of that too.
For show. And very nice, very nice. But I have one final news story for today. Just a quick
Okay.
one for you here.
Yeah, just fast one for today.
Exactly. And this one comes courtesy of WGNTV.com. And
Okay.
uh we have a Florida man story, Shank.
Florida man. Okay, so what's hitting the trope today, man?
No, it's not a trope.
Wait,
Like, I believe this to be the actual Florida man.
you think you've found the actual Florida man?
Well, he either has a tattoo or a birthmark.
Okay.
It looks like a birthmark, but they're saying it's a tattoo. So, man
Okay,
with
hold on.
Florida
Send me 1 second. Send me a picture real quick. 1 second. Just 1 second.
right there, bro. Right there.
Dude, if that's a birthmark, that's a Florida looking birthmark.
That is a pretty Florida looking birthmark.
Like if
But
it's not if that's not a tattoo, then he was born to be Florida man.
but man with Florida tattoo or birthmark on forehead has been arrested for a misuse of 911 and marijuana possession. This comes
Okay.
to us this comes to us from Pascal Caney, Florida,
Yeah.
and fucking essentially this guy, I'm just gonna say Matthew.
Yeah.
He's 22 years old and he was arrested early on a Sunday morning after he called 911 to find a ride home, according to a court complaint which knows he cursed at the caller during the call.
Well, that
So,
was not the right way to go about that,
give me
Matthew.
a fucking ride home. I
See,
need
what
a
he
fuck.
should have done is he should have said, "I don't know the number to the local like precinct." Because if you call the local dispatch, like the local office, and you're like, "Hey, listen, I'm cold, I'm drunk, and I need to drive home rather because I can't afford a cab," they would probably drive you home. They'll probably be like, "Okay, we'll
Well,
send
here's the
somebody
thing.
in a little while if we can," you
Here's the
know.
thing. An officer was, or yeah, an officer was sent
But
to just
don't
make sure he
swear
was
at him.
okay. The arresting officer said that he offered to call him a taxi, but he said he didn't have money and began walking home. So he walked away from the officer. Uh, he then called 911 a second time and asked for a ride. The complaint states, and the officer arrested him.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
because that's at that point you're tying up the lines, man. Like, what are you doing?
exactly. Now he was charged with the misuse of 911 system as well as possession of marijuana.
Yeah,
Doesn't say
that's well.
exactly how much, but
Well, he
marijuana.
had
So
weed
that
on him, but either way, he was calling the cops for a ride home when he had weed on him. Like, what have I said? How many times in the past have I said to every one of you people out there in the world, one illegal thing at a time, and you're okay? But he did like he was
minimum three
public intoxication,
misuse of
misuse of
911,
911, like
illegal
carrying
possession.
illegal possession of cannabis, and like harassment of police officers by telling them to fuck off. If they wanted to charge him with that, they could be like, yeah, he was telling us to fuck off, he was belligerent, like it was harassing,
That's four
like
right there, and they
that's
let him
four right
walk.
there.
They let him walk away the first
Yeah, they let
time.
him walk away the first time. He could have like been like, you know what? Maybe I'll call one of my homies, or maybe I'll just like dip on an Uber. I know it sucks. Like if you're an Uber driver out there, I hope it doesn't happen to you. But like, fuck, man. Like just
Yeah,
do something. Don't keep calling 911.
right.
Like
So,
really.
but
Like
anyway,
wow.
so yeah, this guy was released on a $300 bond. So,
Good
you know,
job, Matthew.
released now, fucking until see court. But like I said, birthmark or tattoo of Florida right on the forehead.
There will
Uh,
be the link below in the description for you people that are just listening to the podcast. If you want to click on that link and you tell us in the comments whether you think it's a birthmark or a tattoo. I think tattoo. Curtis thinks birthmark maybe. Like honestly, like just let us know what you think in the comments. And if you're watching YouTube, there will be a picture so you can see and comment down below if you think that's a birthmark or a tattoo. Because
tell us at
I
home, what do you think it is?
the lines look clean to me. That's like the most Florida-y birthmark I've ever seen. So
Yeah,
so that was a good story, Curtis. I'm glad we closed off with that one, man. That's fantastic. So,
exactly.
I think it would be a good time to run something. You think maybe run another segment?
I believe so.
So, what we're gonna do now is we are gonna roll into a quick ad spot, and then we'll hop into the next segment of the show.
Hey buds, you really want to show off your love of marijuana, or just really shine at your next smoke session? You really want to go to myhighshop.com for some of the coolest cannabis clothing and accessories. They have shirts, sweats, jewelry, grinders, and even pipes made out of amethyst crystals. You can check them out using the link below and let them know I sent you by using code GoodbudsCurtis at checkout. you can save 35% off your entire order and free shipping. Again, that's code GoodBudsCurtis at checkout. Thank you to myhighshop.com, and let's get back to the show.
Oh man, Curtis, I love that My High Shop ad every single time I hear it, brother.
Absolutely every single time. So Shank, I think we can come back and say, how are you feeling?
Man, today I am feeling absolutely magnificent. This weed is great. It's definitely as uplifting as they said it was going to be. I'm definitely feeling great. I feel like so far it's been an absolutely fantastic friggin' episode, brother. It has been fun, uplifting. I'm feeling pretty bouncy personally, you know. It's one of those things where like this strain, it's got a great uplifting effect. I can't say that enough. Like really, I do feel like I'm kind of floating in my chair, which is fantastic because even though I'm pretty narrow, I've got a bony ass and it digs into my chair most of the time.
I
So
can agree to that, but I got that nice
so
soft cushiony seat.
oh yeah, I got a nice cushion. I went out and I bought the manager chair because I wanted to feel like a boss. So basically, it's very comfortable, but I feel like I'm floating on it today, brother. It's great. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, how's your strain hitting you today?
It's hit me fantastically, like as usual, the relaxing, nice, uplifting body high, euphoria, fucking I'm chilled, I'm relaxed, but I could get up and do some shit and I still got plenty of time left in the day to do some shit. So,
Hell yeah.
not really complaining.
No, man, that's
Pretty good chill
fantastic.
weed.
Good, man. You good? Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah.
it's good. It sounds like a fantastic strain too. Like it's a really good smell. Like obviously today, like you know, you're burning that beautiful
Grape Stomper.
beautiful grape stomper, and I'm smoking on that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Rio Bravo. And I know we should probably get into something that I've been looking forward to greatly.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Well, I know I want to speak to someone, and in order to do that, we need to get into a special segment of the show, Curtis.
Oh yeah, I agree to that.
And then, in that segment, we're going to be speaking to a good bud of ours. But in order for us to get to that, we need to hit the interview.
Hey buds, today we are joined with a good bud, my cousin, and just all around good guy, Jammo.
Jammo, thanks for being here, man. It's nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, man, we're happy to. Curtis has told me a lot about you. I think we've gamed before, have we not? Like we've played some games together.
Yeah, a couple times.
Oh
Cool,
yeah.
man. Cool.
I think we actually have a YouTube video about it. If you want to go check it out, link will be in the description. But
yeah, downstairs. But obviously, for our first question, and I got to get this out of the way first and foremost, JMO, I know Curtis knows the answer to this, but do you smoke weed?
Yeah, for many of years.
That's fantastic. I love hearing that. We're always happy to have guests on our show, whether they smoke weed or not. We always ask right away in the forefront. So Curtis, you know what's traditional at this point, right?
of course, I got a bong packed right here. Assuming Shank, you got something packed over there.
I literally just put some weed in my bowl, my friend.
And JMO, what do you got for us today?
Today I'll be smoking some White Russian.
Oh yeah, what you got?
Hey.
You got a blunt for us?
Yeah,
Oh, very
out
nice.
of a White Russian.
Out of a
Nice.
White Russian.
A White Russian blunt. That's fantastic, guys, because you know that kind of fits with the theme of the episode, sitting in wine country, right? You make yourself a little White Russian. Good
Exactly.
idea. I like
Sipping,
that. So,
relaxing, chillaxing, all cool. Now let's all light up our pools. Lighters out, let's blaze it, bros.
yeah, Blades Bros.
Oh
yeah. God damn.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh,
that's
that's
great.
fantastic.
Ah.
Once again, I'm smoking that beautiful Rio Bravo.
Once again, I am smoking on that beautiful grape stomper.
Yeah. And so, JMO, once again, fantastic to meet you. So glad you could get on the show, man. Curtis has told me a lot about you. I'm pretty excited. He's told me about, you know, some hobbies and stuff like that that you that you do, and he's alluded to the fact that you might have some really funny stories to share. So to keep some of those funny stories, hold those off to keep people hooked. Curtis says you are not only a prolific smoker, you know, you smoke that cannabis, but you're also a prolific disc golfer. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Give us a little bit of the inside insight into disc golfing.
With disc golfing, it is kind of like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people like it, but at first you're gonna hate yourself. You're not gonna know what disc to throw. Like you're gonna be asking people like, which one do I do? How do I throw it? And like there are definitely different methods of like throwing. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah, there definitely is.
Oh,
You can do like three different methods, as I know.
I remember when I first started, because Jammo, obviously, he's taken me disc golfing many a times, and he was the one who first got me into it.
Yeah, I remember
Uh,
you telling me he really got you into it.
and when I first started, I remember starting with like it's a frisbee, throw it like a frisbee, and he just kept telling me, "Dude, no,
Yeah.
just like no, try like this, tighten up grip more." And yeah, again, I'm obviously still nowhere near pro, but I'd like to say I can at least get through a couple holes feeling decent about myself.
That's what he said. But
Ooh.
but no, that's awesome, man. And
But
honestly, the first time I ever touched a disc golf disc is you're right, man. That's exactly the thing is I threw it and I yeeted it like I yeet a frisbee, and it did not do what I wanted it to do at all.
oh yeah. Now,
Yes.
here in like southeastern Michigan, obviously around the Detroit area, it's kind of more flatland. But when you really started, you know, trying to get it or getting more into disc golfing, you were living up in Grayling, right? More up in northern Michigan.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So northern Michigan is a lot more hilly, a lot more rigid, kind of mountainous.
Hmm.
So how do you think that really affected your being able to transfer that to more flatland?
That helped me out a lot actually. The first time I went, I was in like tennis shoes, going up a mountain like 3 feet high with snow, and like we were drinking the whole time. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
that really didn't help my
You
game
you drink when
at
you golf,
all.
right? You drink when you golf, right?
Oh yeah, that's the best part about disc golfing. If you haven't gone, it is the greatest
Well, I
stoner
mean, I
leisure
smoke.
activity.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
It is
smoke
the
when I golf.
greatest stoner leisure activity you could possibly do. You go literally 2 holes in, you're in the middle of either woods or so far back somewhere nobody gives a shit. You smoke weed, you drink, and you just have a fucking chill ass time.
Yeah,
But
that's awesome. So yeah, so
continue
Jammo,
on,
you were saying,
Jamie.
yeah, you were saying you were drinking the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I was like 3 feet high, trying to throw up mountains the whole time,
Shit.
and the guys I was playing with were throwing like 400 yards, like it was nothing. Like they were
Yeah.
just like throwing it, and I'm like, what the
Where'd it
fuck? I
go?
can't even get like 30 feet in front of me. But doing overtime and keep on practicing at that, and like trying to figure out your way, your method to it, because everybody has their own method to insanity.
Method to the
Absolutely.
madness.
No, absolutely, and that's really like that's the truth. Like when you said that you kind of hated it first, that's kind of true for like most hobbies, right? Something that you really enjoy doing, like a lot of the time, like when you first try something, if you beat yourself, you'll beat yourself up a little bit potentially, like if you're not doing great right away. But like it's good to have the mindset of yeah, like obviously I'm not gonna go out day one and be prolific, best in the world, like nobody's better than me disc golfer, right? But if you go out and you grind and you grind and you grind, eventually you'll progress and get better, and you'll know to wear the proper boots, and you'll like kind of be prepared, right? It's like with Curtis and I, what we say
I
about
learned that
smoking.
after the second time.
Yeah, it's like what Curtis and I talk about, like smoking weed all the time. You got to be prepared, right? You got to know what you're getting into. You got to moderate how you get into it, and you got to be prepared. Have beverages nearby. Have snacks nearby if you need them. Right? Like Curtis has a
As
goddamn mini
always,
fridge and air fryer. Right? Like just to be prepared. And
stay
like
prepared.
and I am always within arm's reach of a bag of chips and at least a can of Pepsi. Right? So it's like we're always prepared, and it's like that with disc golfing too. When you got to go to a different course, like on a mountain, you got to be prepared for a mountain. Right? So, but
Exactly.
like Curtis was saying, it made you better now that you're on flatland, right? I would assume that now that there are less hills to get around, you probably just you can get a little
Yeah,
you can throw it
yeah,
easier,
and
right?
yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
I can throw like 250, 275. If I'm
nice.
playing like a good day, it's like 300, 325.
Nice. Do you find flat courses use more obstacles, or like, because I find that in golf courses it's like that when you've got like a bit of a hill, they tend to go easy on you and have a few less obstacles and stuff like that. But when there isn't a hill, like it's a flat grade, like it's just like they put like sand pits and water traps and shit like that. And like, do they do the
Um,
same thing in disc golf, or is it like
It
different? Like, we won't cut down those
uh
trees because it's gonna fuck with these guys' shot.
I mean, just from my experience, I can definitely see a little bit of that in there. It's kind of a varied amount depending on where you go in general.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, that one place we went to in Mount Pleasant, the
uh,
the
yeah, the
fucking
forest
500,
place.
the 500, yeah, completely forest place. Everything else is entrenched, but one hole, 500 fucking yards of just straight field with a downward slope. So it was literally meant for you to just whip it as far as you fucking could.
Yeah, just
But everything
yeet it
else
down a
was
hill.
relatively technical.
Yeah. And that's what I mean, like, because, like, like, if it was more hilly, they'd probably be like, man, the hill itself is going to be a hell of an obstacle. So, like, if it's a flatland course, like, we got to put in some extra stuff to make it a little bit more difficult so these people aren't, breezing through it
Right. I
and
think the
stuff like that.
difficulty on that one was just the pure fucking distance of it.
Oh man, yeah, I can imagine. I can't even imagine. Like, that's the thing is, I can't think like I know I think I can throw a frisbee very accurately. Like, I've thrown a lot of frisbee in my day, right? Very accurately for like I think like when I say 100 yards or so, I'm fairly certain that I could easily get it to somebody without them having to move from like 100 yards with a frisbee. But I can't see me doing like 250, 300, like without blowing my shoulder out or changing my technique into a way that I have not learned yet. Like that I'm not like some kind of way of throwing it. So, like, you're definitely right, man. If I went disc golfing, I'd probably have this similar experience to you. I mean, I'd wear boots now because I've heard your advice. Um, but I'd probably have the same experience, right? I'd be like watching you yeet the friggin' thing up the hill and be like,
Any advice for people who want to get into disc golfing, like where they can buy good disc, where they can find their trails, anything like that?
um, Honestly, right now the market for like a lot of things is like online,
Right. It is more of
but
a
like
summertime, so yeah.
a
yeah,
lot,
and
a lot of stores like around us, especially like gas stations and like convenience stores, they'll have them like hidden in the back, and it'd be like one or two shelves of them.
nice, yeah. I know Curtis told me before that that like it's pretty important to go with quality because he was saying he had some cheap ones that were kind of not that great and they worked okay, but he had some like better ones that were a little bit more expensive and they worked a bit better. Like so, like quality is important in the disc as well, right? Like it's not just just like going out and buying the first disc you see and like it'll affect your game. It's like golf clubs,
Yeah,
like having a
it's
different set of clubs. Like you were saying, you need different discs for different
Um,
throws.
yeah, you definitely do. There are three different types. There is a long distance, a mid range, and a putter.
Oh, nice. Cool, man.
So
And
and a
oh,
lot of them have it like displayed on the disc, so you can kind of identify it a little bit better.
awesome, man. Check out Amazon if you guys are listening. You guys listening at home, go check out Amazon. You can probably find that if you're planning on getting into it. You can get some good prices.
a couple good brands to go with are like I one that I especially like is Innovo. And Jamie, what's the brand that you usually use?
It's a very complicated disc, but I definitely started with it. It's a Nuke brand.
Oh
Cool,
yeah.
cool. And it's probably a really good idea to buy more than one too, right? Because you will potentially lose discs,
Oh yeah.
right?
But at the same time you do find some.
Yeah, on average, I would buy like three just to be like secured with yourself.
That's smart. It's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, like we were just saying a minute ago, right? Be prepared, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, Curtis, since you know your cousin a lot better, obviously, than I do, have you prepared any questions before the interview that you planned on asking him on air to potentially embarrass him and or embolden him by making him look much cooler?
I mean, yes to both of those, but
Lit. All right, hit me with whatever you got, my friend. And I'm sorry,
so
Jammo.
so first and foremost is a story that I think I have covered before on the podcast, but if I haven't, this is going to be awesome for everybody, and I
If
have
he
somebody here
has,
for
if he has,
verification.
well, if he has, we all smoke a lot of weed on this podcast, so there's a good possibility. that nobody remembers it. So,
Regardless, here's a refresher.
Yeah.
So, this is also in the form of a question. Jammo, back in the day, do you remember hanging out at a certain friend's house who had in his basement essentially a completely sealed PVC tank?
Yeah. I definitely remember that. It was a nice house he had it in too.
It was a really nice house. Like he was a really
Besides,
it was the house itself was really fucking nice. But so in the basement there was this PVC, I would call it a septic tank, but there was never anything in it, or if it was cleaned out.
yeah.
And
Yeah, you can buy them brand new. They don't come with shit in them, right? So that's pretty great.
so would you like to explain a little bit of the origin of how this became one of the coolest fucking things in this house?
Well, when we would like party or something, instead of us like just smoking around the house and like stinking up the house, we would just like fuck it. Let's all 12 of us sit in a tank and clamp bake out a fucking tank, and the house isn't fucking.
It's a brilliant idea. Like, if stoners are engineers, I've said it to this
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Like, when you get
Now-
baked, if you don't have a way to smoke weed, like, immediately, you're like,
Oh, yeah.
how can I smoke weed immediately? And you figure it the fuck out, man.
Well, we had the ways of smoking. It was just how do we make
Yeah,
it
where do we smoke where it's like,
smell condensing and
contained.
also
well, and you want
in
a
a
hot
cool
box,
way.
right? Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
It's way
Over
cooler in
time-
the bathroom.
Now over time this thing evolved because it had this screw top on it, so once everybody was inside you screwed it tight, it was sealed. There was a like small hole in the side for air access, but
Yeah.
over time it kind of evolved. How did the final iteration end up?
How we had to take it down, or
Like right before you guys had to take it down, or
how
like
the
a couple of
inside
the
was?
iterations that it went through.
A lot of
Yeah, how did it
stuff.
get to the end product? Like, what was its what was the journey? I want to know.
Minus the semen.
journey.
Okay, minus the semen.
Okay, maybe minus. Okay, how about minus a little bit of the semen? How did
Like
what is the
how it was
journey of the septic
decorated
tank?
and
Yeah,
stuff.
what is the journey of the septic tank?
Like some of the
That's what I wanna
furniture that
know.
we ended up getting in
Um,
there and stuff.
Well, we would find furniture just on the side of the road or something.
Yeah,
You
people
driving
don't
by,
know.
you just see some furniture, right? So we would just pick literally the pillows, just
Yeah.
the pillows of it, and just stuff it inside that.
Well,
So
you know
by
it
the
would fit,
time-
right? In the opening, you just stuff it in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So by the time it got like done too, there was like 15, 16 little pillows for everybody to sit on. There was blankets all over the fucking place.
It was completely cushioned.
Everything would glow under a black light.
Here's the thing. At one point, it did go or it went through a Christmas or some form of iteration where afterwards lights were on discount. So Christmas lights ended up getting put in through
I
there.
forgot about that.
Yeah, we duct taped them to the side.
Yeah, we duct taped the
But-
Christmas
Fucking
lights
lit.
all the way around.
Here's the
it.
thing. We tried on 3 separate occasions to duct tape them up, but we kept going inside, clam baking. It would get hot and sweaty in there,
It'd
and then
come
it kept
down.
coming down.
Gorilla
So,
glue, bruh.
Finally, we did Gorilla Tape,
Gorilla
and
tape, yeah.
that stayed up until the end of it.
Man, that shit'll hold anything up.
Um,
Speaking of Gorilla Glue, man, honestly, both of you, this is a question to both of you guys, because I already know my opinion on it, but how fucking dumb was that stupid person for using Gorilla Glue on their head?
oh my!
And their face, and the dude who used it on his face? Anybody who would put Gorilla Glue on their body willingly, how stupid is that?
You heard about that? Right?
Yeah,
You heard
I
about that,
definitely
right?
scrolled. Yeah, I
Like,
definitely
it's just,
scrolled
and
through
I don't, first of all,
some.
no, I don't 100% now. Like, obviously, she's got doctors involved and stuff like that and everything else, so I believe she probably actually did it at this point. At first, I was skeptical. I thought maybe she's just, like, used, like, a good, like, crazy amount of hairspray and just was pretending for the video sake or whatever, but then...
Right. No,
legit-
this is
but,
like legit.
but it's like, they clearly say on the can to avoid contact with your person. Like, they're like, do not get it in contact with you at all.
Right.
Like, you know...
Your eyes, your hair, all that shit.
Nothing. Like, they're like, don't get any part of you that this becomes attached to. It's gonna be attached to for the rest of time. Like, this ain't going away. It's like,
There's
you know
a
how
reason they
rock-
call it a gorilla. Have you ever tried to escape the grip of a gorilla? It's
They
not
had to-
happening unless the Cincinnati police get involved.
Yeah, they had to straight up shoot Harambe. He wasn't letting go of that. He wasn't letting go of that little boy. But basically, you know, so like that was fucking stupid, man. Just speaking of Gorilla Tape and Gorilla Glue, just to get on a little tangent for a second there. But yeah, that
F
was
in the chats for Harambe,
F in the chat for Harambe. You know, dicks out for Harambe, guys.
as
But
always.
as always,
Go.
but so obviously now I'm gonna go. I gotta segue again because
Okay.
Curtis already knows you, so I gotta kind of take charge of a few of these questions. But first of all, that septic tank sounds lit, literally, because you fucking
Uh,
really need those lights
Well,
up.
there is one more story we have
That's what I mean.
on
That's what
it.
I mean. That's what I mean. That's
but
what I'm gonna get to. That's what I'm
okay,
getting to.
okay.
Is that it sounds lit because it's got the lights and everything like that. But I mean, that wasn't the final iteration, right? Like there's more to it. There's got to be more.
Yeah.
There was the one time that I specifically mentioned to him where fucking you guys managed to find a TV that was able to fit in the hole.
Oh yeah, we found like a 15-inch TV. Just we're all just fucking high and
Yeah,
fuck
You
it.
find it.
yeah, you find it. Fuck it.
We literally, I forgot how we found it. I think it was in the garbage or.
Well, yeah, you just people
somebody
junk
gave
stuff
it to
all the
us.
time. Like people junk stuff all the time. The person probably got themselves a 17-inch TV and chucked the 15. You know.
Yeah, it was at the time where that shit was like $300
like,
for one of those. So
You know, so
Right.
that's lit. Yeah, that's awesome.
15-inch TV. Fucking, I remember going over. I'm knocking on the door. Friend's mom lets me in. Hey, they're in the basement. Go in the basement. Don't see anybody. Open up the lid of the tank. And these two of these motherfuckers are sitting there passing a joint back and forth to each other, playing goddamn Red Dead Redemption or some shit on Xbox. Or wait, it was Sonic at the time. I can't remember what it was
That's
at the
fucking
time.
awesome.
But it was one of the Xbox games you guys were into at the time.
Gears of War. I think
Yeah, it
a
was.
Gears of
It was
game.
Gears of War.
Gears, nice. That's fantastic. I
they
can't
just-
think of a better place to play Gears of War than in a septic tank, like down, like hidden in a fucking like bunker type thing, like running around playing Gears of War. Like just I'd pretend.
And I
I'm
just
in a, like,
open up
fucking
this lid and I'm just
nuclear
looking
vault.
down like, what the hell? And they just both look up like, what's up?
Come on down, man. That's awesome,
fucking
dude. That
amazing.
no, that's fantastic. Honestly, like and that just like honestly like when Curtis, I think I remember vaguely that story, but when he was telling me that you brought a TV down there, I was like picturing you like disassembling a fucking TV and like finding a way to like get it in there and shit.
Cross-engineer
And
it
it's,
to
like,
make it
like,
in.
Like just kind of like jank it up, like be like, all right, we don't need these like 4 inches of plastic on the back, so let's just fucking like rip that off and fucking you know like
it was
that
literally
kind of
a TV
but,
that
like,
was
just a
just big
15-inch
enough.
TV, just bring it down there, start playing Gears on it. Oh man, I'd see if I could find another one and do like a LAN party down there, right? Like fucking jump on.
Get some
Like,
co-op going.
Honestly, the only reason I can't do like a thing like that or a hangout like that is because I feel like I'd go down there with like so many fucking, I just like get so many bags of chips, like I'd munch them all, and I'd be like, I'd get fatter, and I'd be like, try to go out, and I'd just be like, ugh.
Oh, we had to push a couple people in and out. Like,
Yeah.
and there were a couple people who just couldn't get in.
They just couldn't. Yeah, they weren't going in.
But
But like no, but I mean,
we
I'm
had a
pretty-
diverse group of friends.
I'm pretty narrow, so I got a long way to go anyway, right? Before I'd get to that point, but yeah,
There
no, that's
there is one more story
Yeah.
about that specifically that I have to get to, and
Alright.
that is the 420 the very famous 420 that we had in that tank.
great. The famous 420.
The famous 420.
The one where we had 12 people in there.
Oh
like,
yeah,
the one where we
story I
maxed the
just
capacity.
briefly covered.
Maximum capacity.
Yeah, basically, you could probably fit. There was probably enough room comfortably for like 15 people.
Oh.
But 12 people, it was good enough.
Right.
And yeah, I remember that. We all had fucking our own joint, and like 12 of us in a tank smoking a joint, and my buddy's mom just shows up. Mind you, she's a smoker too, so it wasn't like a big issue.
Yeah.
But she just comes in, opens the lid, literally see a
Oh my
gush
God.
of smoke just
Thomas
hit her
the
in
Train.
the face. Yeah,
Exactly.
Smokestack
And she just-
coming out.
pops her head in. She's like, "How many are you in here?" We're all like, "Oh, hey, mom." She's like, "How many in here?" They're like, we're all like 12 of us. She's like,
Super
"Holy
flattering.
shit, you guys all got in
It
here."
was incredible.
Oh my god, man, that's hilarious, dude.
Sorry, stuff's going on. So
No, man, that's crazy, dude. Seriously, that sounds like a friggin' awesome time. Like 12 people down there, your mom popping her head in, like smoke popping
Fred's
out like
mom,
that.
but yeah.
No, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. That's what I mean. JMO's mom, to clarify, but popping
No,
in there and
JMO's
being,
friend mom.
or JMO's
JMO's,
friend's mom, yeah, popping
yeah.
in there, yeah, and being like, "Hey, how many are you in there, man?" I remember hearing that exact phrase, I think, from my mom at one point when she popped down to my bedroom when I lived with her back in the day. She opened the door. I had like friends on. I had a love seat in my bedroom, and like I had a small bed and like a computer desk and stuff like that. I had like three friends sitting on the love seat, four people on the little ass bed, like one person sitting on a pile of clothes in the corner. My mom's like, "How many of you are in here?" And I was like, "I don't know how many people are buried in the clothes back there, but you know, like it's just what you see, right?" And like, but yeah, man, it was
Hand check.
hand check. You know, just put. It's like everybody go below the smoke for a second. I need to do a head check. You know, like a head count, right? But yeah, like that's funny as hell, man. That sounds great. But like with that awesome, like because I remember Curtis telling me like just a small amount. I didn't get all those details, which I'm so happy now that I have in my life. About the septic tank smoking spot, man. I want to make one for myself now, if I can find a
I'm sure
way.
you could find one at Menards.
Easy. That or I'll just dig one up out of someone's yard and drain it. You know, just throw up a few little pine tree air fresheners. I'll
You
be
don't
fine.
need this, and I want to get high.
Yeah, you
Throw
don't
some
need this.
bleach
I
in there,
don't
you
want to
know.
get burnt. Yeah, that'd be great, man. Just throw some bleach in there, go in there, scrub it out. Don't forget to wear a mask. End up being found like 2 days later, mumbling about Jesus. like, like, oh man, that'd be magnificent. But that's so cool. Like, I'm glad that I got some more details about that wicked story. Um, but to like move on to another string of questions here. I know that Curtis, you know, he's talked to me a fair bit about, you know, the fact that you enjoy video games, and we've played together, right? We played, I think, at some point or another. We've played at some point,
Like I
COD or
said,
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
we played some
a
Call
little
of Duty
bit, a
before, and
little bit. And you know, so like he says you're a huge gamer and stuff like that. You guys like to get together, play games, stuff like that, and obviously you loved it enough to get a TV down into you know the septic tank so you can play some Gears. But what's your current favorite game to play? What do you enjoy at the moment?
Right now I've been kind of playing some Red Dead 2. I can't say it's like one of my favorite games, but me and my buddy have been like kind of stuck on it.
Yeah, it's your grind right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know that feeling. And honestly, I played Red Dead Online a little bit when it first came out, right? Because I was a huge fan of Red Dead Redemption, loved it. Like, and when Red Dead 2 was coming out, I was like, oh, hell yes, I'm excited, right? And basically, then, you know, the story was amazing. The story of that game was beautiful. Like, the detail they put in that game was amazing. But I went online, and man, it was the one of the worst online multiplayer experiences I've ever had. Like, it took me forever to connect. Once I did connect, every town and all the space in between was basically a massive gunfight. Like you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go to town, buy myself some ammunition, you know, see the saloon, go talk to some people, and you know maybe get a quest or something, get a mission or some shit to do. And you go in like as soon as you get within like like 2 kilometers or like two like a mile or whatever of town, like guns would just
Canadian.
yeah bullets would just start whipping past your head. Nonsensical unit measurement system. But bullets would start like whipping past your fucking head, and you're like, "What the fuck, man? I'll come in peace. Like, chill out." You go on the like. I went on mic at one point, and the only time I didn't get murdered right away was when I went on mic, and I was like chilling out, and me and my other half were playing it together. Like we were both playing it,
yeah.
and we went up to this like horse barn, and I was buying a new horse, right? And this dude comes riding up, and he's obviously been grinding it. Like he's got like the gear, he's got the guns, he's like all in a black leather trench coat kind of thing, like fucking hardcore.
I'm gonna
Like-
fuck you up,
Like
boy.
yeah, I'm about to make your ass look like you stuffed a cucumber up it, that kind of shit, right? Like that kind of thing, right? And so, and I was like, and I like straight up, I went on mic and I was like, "Hey man, what's up?" I was like, "You got a microphone?" And like I just said it, and it like took a second, and he like just kind of sat there on his horse and didn't say anything, but he didn't move either. I think he was probably grabbing his headset. and he's like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" I was like, "Hey, man," I was like, "I'm really new to this game, and like, a lot of people have just been straight up murdering me, and it's kind of ruining my night. So, is there any chance that you're about to kill me right now? And if you are, is there any possibility that you'll just like not like, just
Don't.
just not, you know. And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, honestly, when I came riding up here, he's like, I was gonna kill you both and like shit like that. But he's like, I didn't expect you to have a microphone on and stuff like that and everything. And like, so he's like,
God
he's
damn it, I feel sympathy now.
and he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I didn't expect you to have a mic on and stuff like that. He's like, so you haven't been playing very long. I'm like, no, man, I haven't been playing for very long at all. He's like, I'm like, I got into a few gunfights, and you know, like I domed a few people. I've gotten a lot of kills under my belt, which I didn't want because I didn't really want a gunfight. Like I just kind of went into a town. I'm like, I want to sell my fucking fur, and then people
Right.
would be like, bam, I'd be like, no, fuck you don't, and I just
But yeah.
you know, but yeah, like so. I found it was really violent. Is it still like that now? Like when you play online, is like every town you go into an immediate gunfight, or has that calmed down?
Yeah, that was just the like beginner how it first started type shit, and then like more and more updates and like less time playing it. People
Yeah,
have definitely like beefed down on that.
yeah, that's good. I'm glad. So, do they have a new bounty hunter update or some shit like that just come out? I just saw a bunch of ads for it or something like that, or it's coming out.
Yeah, they just updated it today, and it's basically like solo missions. They gave you 3 new solo missions, and like I only got to check out one of them, and it was basically like go into a mansion, steal all the jewelry, and get the fuck out.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. Nice, like payday style. That's funny because we were playing payday the other day, and fucking we were having a blast doing that. And it's pretty much the same idea. You break into the mansion, you steal all the shit, and then you get out.
Exactly.
Right.
That's cool, man. No, that's great.
Fucking, now I know another game that fucking we've talked about before and like before, kind of like, well, not exactly the game, but just like the game style is kind of like that Dark Soulsy style, first person, fantasy aspect RPG. You kind of like that style of game when you're on kind of like that chill vibe,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, absolutely.
So I'm not really like which is better, but in the long run, which do you think you would prefer? Like the kind of shooty, uh, fast pace of like the Call of Duty or the Red Dead or something like that, or more or less the relaxing fantasy single player?
Me personally, I'm more about swordplay. I have like a good sword
I mean,
play.
you and me both.
I just
Fucking, I got
downloaded.
my katanas. I know you got your katanas.
I'm buying Mordhau really soon, but I've played a lot of Chivalry back in my day, and I fucking loved that game because of the swordplay in it. Like the actual fact that you could like choose the direction of your strikes, choose the direction of your guard, like that kind of thing, and it was like really
Yeah.
awesome, man. It made the game totally different than the regular like hack and like just kind of games that you play, right? Like Ghost of
All right.
Tsushima is another one. Have you played that
And
one yet?
No, I haven't.
but it's the same with Neo.
Oh yeah.
And that one I know you played.
Yeah, Neo. Yeah, Neo's insane. Like the animation in that, like they went to another level. Like that game is beautiful. Like I haven't played it yet, but I've seen a lot about it, and holy crap, it looks like an awesome game. Like intense. But I know that Ghost of Tsushima, man, I played that a lot. I haven't beaten it yet because I can't bring myself to do some of the more emotional missions. But if you like swordplay, that game is where it's at. You actually have like several different sword stances that you can use against different situations. So like if you got like a really heavy enemy with a shield, you can use one sword stance, or if you're going against like lighter unarmored guys, use another one, and like you switch between them during fights, and it's really cool, man. It's got an awesome attack system to it. And I can't recommend it highly enough because even if you just play it to walk around and never get into a fight, it's a beautiful landscape to look at. The developers, like, it's a fictional island, but they made it look like a real part of like Japan, and it's beautiful. It's awesome, man. And the sword plays bitch until you cut bitches in half. Whew, shing. Yeah, man. So, Curtis, once again, I learned about the video games and stuff, man. But I know that you said you've got some awesome stories. Are there any awesome stories that you would like to get out of your cousin?
I do specifically, and this one we are not going to mention ages or names or anything like that.
Nope. Nope.
But
no dates will be needed.
At a certain point in time, we kind of took over a small area of a forest in multiple areas of our town, to say the least.
Okay.
And there was a lot of finding spots to smoke and then smoking a lot there. when we were younger. But
Yeah.
uh, do you want to
hiding spots?
would you like to give people the basic gist of Wonderland?
Wonderland or all three of them?
Let's start with Wonderland.
Okay. Wonderland is literally like, I don't know, like between two roads, barely a woods, but we all just were bored one day and decided to go into the woods and say fuck it, make our own settlement.
Fucking
Man.
sticks together, fucking little tents, little teepees, eventually blankets were brought back there to cover as roofs.
That's a
Fucking-
fantastic thing, man. I can't say we haven't all done that kind of thing, you know, like have that one special spot where you just kind of go and it's like, this is where we will build.
Yeah. It was definitely one of the moments.
Well, and then after that one was pretty much, I won't say found discovered, but like a couple other people started going back there that weren't part of the immediate groups. We're like, let's try finding, new spots.
Yeah,
So,
other
a
people
new-
found our spot, so let's move.
So the second spot was found. Now, since the first one was Wonderland, the second one we named what was it?
Alice.
Alice. The
Nice.
place was just called Alice.
See, I thought you were gonna say something like Tutorland or something like that.
We had
'Cause
Wonderland.
Tutorland.
That would be funny and clever, but we weren't that at that time.
No, I
So-
dig it.
Second place was called Alice, and this was again another little bullshit area, barely of woods in the middle of somewhere, and I think the only thing back there was a fallen log and a couch that somebody had dipped. Or was the couch back there initially? Or
No, the couch was not back there.
You guys got the fucking couch back there. Found a couch and fucking dragged it back there.
Yep. It's
And-
like, you get that end, I'll get this end, let's go.
And
Yep.
that just became another chill spot. Fucking everyone would just go around this couch. It was soaked, mosquito filled. Fucking
No, they're
spider-
gross. They're disgusting. I remember there was a couch back at this place. There was a place in my hometown called The Bus, and it was an old place. There was like, it was back in the woods, and there was like a wood deck that was part of an old house. But it was like it was burnt and shit like that because the house had burned down, right?
Right.
So they tore the rest of the house out of there, dragged the old deck off to the side, and nobody moved into the lot, and it just overgrew with woods. So me and my friends would go back there and hang out like on the wood thing.
Yeah.
Over time, the wood thing got broken away. People would break boards off it because everybody in town went there. They'd break boards off of it and burn them and make fires and shit like that and everything else. But one day I went back there and there was a couch back there. And I was like, who the fuck brought a fucking... Who brought a couch back here?
No,
like- I'm like, man, I
Yeah.
just thought about the logistics of it because there was two ways in. One of them was through like a steep ditch thing that you had to go through a hole cut in a fence and then go down like a ditch and then come up the other side. And the other one was like through a very narrow path through trees, like that you'd have to pivot,
Pivot!
pivot,
Pivot!
the entire fucking time. Like you'd have to be Ross Geller the entire way.
Jesus Christ.
I think they just threw it.
Yeah, they
Probably
probably
just
they probably
yeeted it
just,
over.
all right, like take a good running start and.
There was another area unrelated to us. It was already kind of established, but
Yeah.
it was we called it the Dunes, and it was a spot behind a Kroger's somewhere nearby. And
Sounds
essentially
deserty.
it was literally just like this little sand path, went through reeds, went through forest, and then all of a sudden it was just like two sandy hills. There was like 3 shopping carts, a fire pit. People kept dragging pallets there from the supermarket,
To burn. Yeah.
and fucking somebody had brought a fucking mattress there.
Oh my god, yeah, that's the thing too. Is the couch?
It was there for a while, and then somebody, rather than actually throwing it away or taking it to the dumpster all the way out, they took it halfway down the path and left it there, and it stayed there. Nobody ever wanted to touch it after that.
Well, guaranteed, man. You know, people fucking did some shit on that you
Oh,
don't even want to
guaranteed.
think about.
But but anyway,
Yeah, I
back
don't even
to
think about it.
back to our spots.
So Alice, you said the second one was named Alice, and it was
kind
a
of
little bit more secluded.
yeah, and kind of same scenario happened, and then that finally leads us to our last spot where we kind of are just like, you know what, let's stop kind of doing this for right now.
Mm-hmm. And where's
Again,
that?
no names and no anything like that, but would you like to explain this one?
Yeah, we found a way into. It wasn't so much into a school, but outside generators to a
Mhm.
school.
Yeah.
So they didn't have like a brick over it.
Oh,
So
I
you
know.
could
What you
just
mean.
literally climb onto the school and jump into it.
Yeah. So it was like an enclosed wall, but not
Yeah,
no roof.
And there was
Yeah.
a door on it that locked from outside, but not inside.
Yeah.
so we called that the inn.
Since it was the only spot that was indoors, and then we had Alice in Wonderland. And
I dig
actually,
it.
it was funny because geographically, they were actually lined up like that.
Yeah.
Which
See,
was
that's
even
lit.
funnier.
That's awesome.
And that place lasted for a little bit until we had one fabulous sporting idea:
Oh, what would that be?
roof ball.
Yep.
Oh my god, if you can't see it right now, guys, you guys at home can't see this, but my hand is on my face. Not because I'm face palming, but because I am doing a forehead button press to get extra ready for what they're about to fucking tell me what roof ball is. What the hell is roof ball? And, like, I need to know.
Combination
Now.
of soccer, handball, and dodgeball.
Yeah. And
Okay,
basically,
where does the roof come in? Unrelated popcorn fire, or was it on the roof?
it was on the school roof.
It's on the roof of the school.
Oh my god, yes.
And mind you, we didn't damage anything, and we weren't trying to
That
hurt or
night.
anything that night.
In the specific incident.
Yeah.
So allegedly,
Allegedly.
and so inevitably neighbors got curious and
There was a
called.
bunch of cars. that
As
drove
as
by.
you typically do when you see people on the roof of a building playing, pretending they're Neo in the Matrix, dodging
Right.
things like dude,
Now-
fucking dodgeball goes flying past, or like that far from falling off the ceiling. Once again, I
Now-
held my hand up and I was making the small.
Now again, I'm not naming names or how many people were with us, but specifically, all the people who were on the roof got off the roof. There was one guy who decided the sport wasn't cool for him, so he just wanted to stay in the inn.
Yeah.
So when the cops came, they didn't know he was
Oh.
in the inn. I shit you not. We came down, another one of our friends came down after us, and because of that, they thought there was going to be more kids up on the roof. They
Yeah.
brought the fire department. And let me tell you right here and now, the fire department, to this day, still scares me way more than the fucking police department.
Oh yeah, they don't fuck around, man.
They have taken smoke inhalation. Their brain is like, I appreciate what they do, but something has happened to their brain. They look fucking terrifying.
Well,
And they were not having any of our bullshit.
well, it's mostly because they spend most of their time sitting at the station, like waiting for an emergency and not getting a whole lot of sleep. And then they get a
Exactly, yeah.
call and they don't know what it is. They get a bam, bam, and they hear people stuck on a rooftop, like, and then they
I
go
haven't stuck
rush
on
over.
rooftop. Just
Yeah, but
hey,
no, but then they
we
go
have
rush
to go.
over.
And
and
it's
then
like,
they're
hey,
like,
these kids are on the roof.
no.
Fucking help.
They're just
See how
stupid
many
kids
are there.
climbed up. Yeah, stupid kids climbed up on the roof.
So cop goes up on the roof with the fucking cherry picker on this fire truck, scans it, doesn't find him.
Oh yeah.
This guy fucking grabbed everything else that we had, the illegal stuff, mind you. We
Mhm.
left all the cigarettes and the pot and the fucking everything like that with him.
Yeah.
He grabbed everything and went underneath the generator and stayed there for
Probably a couple
3,
hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, a couple hours.
Couple
Couple
hours
hours.
while we took care of
Oh my
all of
God.
this. We got picked
Oh.
up, everyone got picked up, everybody left, and then he finally walks out like, dude, fuck this, and went home.
I'm looking both ways, like
We got all of our shit back within the next couple
scurries off into
days.
the woods.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, man. But yeah, no, I've had a few close calls, but never roof ball. Yeah, no, never roof ball. That's pretty intense. Well, I imagine there'd probably be balls stuck up there anyway because it's a school, and most of the time schools seem to have balls stuck on top of them for some reason.
I think that was it.
Yeah,
I
I think that's where we found them all.
So that's what I'm saying. You were
That's
probably
where-
like, "Oh, hey, there's a ball stuck up here. Fucking let's yeet
hey,
it
ball
at
on
each
the
other."
roof. Roof ball. Roof ball.
Yeah.
Let's play roof ball.
Yeah, we literally made it up as we were going.
Yeah.
Like, how should
23
we play
points. What the
this?
fuck? And 23
was
and a half
like-
points. Shit.
I think there was like 2 specific pillars where if you hit those, it was like 3 points, but if you got it past them, it was like 1 point. Something like that.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
can't remember now. We were all high. But speaking of which,
Yeah.
I think we're running short on time, so real quick, I got one more bong ready.
I have a bong ready here as well. It's getting in
Jammo,
front
do you
of
got
me.
one more blunt ready?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
There, I got my bong. Hold on, let me get it in front of me.
Oh.
There it is. Got it. Yep. Ha ha.
There we
Ha.
go.
The bong made a journey. There
Oh
we go.
yeah. All right. In which case, buds, you know what time it is. For the last time of the episode, let us all blaze it.
Ooh, hell yeah. So, Jammo, man, once again, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. It's been an excellent interview. Hopefully, you'll come back again in the future and talk some more with us.
Thank you.
Can't thank you enough, man. It's been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit better. Is there anything you'd like to shout out, or anything you'd like to kind of like yell at, or like anything you'd like to quote or whatever, just to close out the interview here?
No, just appreciate you guys for having me here, and yeah, hopefully we do have it again.
Absolutely, bro. You know, we're gonna have you back.
Yeah, you
Again.
absolutely.
And I've just got to remind all the buds out there, you should also be coming back too. In order to do that, you need to like, comment, subscribe, share this with all of your buds. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere that you enjoy social media. We're there.
Absolutely, buds. Like, hit us up. Remember to like us, follow us, whatever you need to do. Also, you can check out, Lumen Spot and My High Shop, our sponsors. There will be some links down below in the description for you, buds, and a little bit of an explanation about how much money you can save buying this badass gear. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We thank you all for joining us, and with that being said, we will roll one for the road, and we will see all of you next week on the Good Buds podcast.
Later, buds.
Later.